It's an interesting conference, to say the least.
Are we in there?
We're in there.
Oh shit!
We're in there
right
like
here.
swim well.
Hey,
Welcome. Listen
to another edition.
To another fabulous edition
Come
of.
on,
Come on, man. The Saturday Showdown.
Come on,
you know what
man.
it is.
You already
It's
fucking know what it is, man.
It's not even a question, man.
You already fucking know what it is.
Tonight, which you'll get this today, we are talking ACC football. The last two conferences for us to do, I don't know what the hell that was, ACC and SEC. We're finally here. We're at the end of the road. I know Chip's ecstatic. He's rocking the ACC champion hat.
Oh, you already know.
We're going to talk about his Tigers tonight. We're going to talk about Florida State. We're going to talk about my favorite quarterback, Drake Maye. And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into it. Hold on. No. Sorry about the technical difficulties last night on the Pac-12 show, guys. We're sorry about that. I did go back and listen to your analysis. I didn't what did you think? I was right on what you were Washington State. Cam Ward turns the ball over too much. I'll take the under. Arizona, as I sat back and I looked at my notes, I'm kind of torn on Arizona. I don't want to touch it because I feel like they could go. Well, I think we said over because we like the quarterback.
I like that quarterback.
Arizona State has too many transfers in. It's just too much new. So I was kind of But Colorado, the win total so low, we've never seen anything like it. And I think people are going to be out to run the score with Brohm. We've never seen anything like this. 70 transfers, basically bringing in a whole new team through the portal. I just would stay away. I know a lot of people are saying it's going to be a disaster, but we don't know anything about that. We don't know what's to come. So my advice, enjoy the show. But that's the Pac-12. You did your damn thing carrying the show. Anytime you got it, it's story time with Chip. Like, how could they not like it? It's story time with Chip.
Come on.
So let's jump into it. When you look at the ACC, you have two teams that are clearly fighting for the top. They play each other in the championship game. They
also, this is the first year, no divisions.
No divisions.
So the top two teams are going to the shit, bro. And I just fucking love that. I love that because I swear, I think I mentioned this before. I feel like Clemson, Florida State, and fans of football have been really they've just been neglected of a highly competitive championship matchup between Clemson and Florida State. It's just
we've been done a great disservice in our time.
You know, but this is the year, man. This is the year that we can hopefully get it done, dude. And hopefully we go back to back on them, and that'll be fucking fantastic.
Well, right off top, let's go to the favorite to win the conference. That would be the Clemson Tigers. Chips, Clemson Tigers. They are plus 150 to win the conference. My headphones bugging out. There we go. They're plus 150 to win the conference. 9.5 is the win total. Minus 188 to the over, plus 152 to the under. When you look at Clemson, obviously you got to start with the fact that they hired Garrett Riley to come in and take over the offense.
Yes,
getting Brandon Streeter out of there. Dabo goes
get him the fuck out of there. Get him the fuck out. Get him the fuck out. You know what? We got him the fuck out of it. We paid him.
Get the fuck out. DJU. I don't even want to try to say his last name.
Get the fuck out. Get him the fuck out.
Oregon State.
Both of them.
This team is -2 in net, Tarp -4 on offense, +2 on defense. Really, there is no negative Tarp in my opinion. Bringing in a new OC, K Klubnik, you should get a bump just based off that. You still return Will Shipley. You return Antonio Williams, Bo Collins, the other running back, the backup. He's just as good as Shipley. The offensive line got continuity. The defense is probably going to be the best defense in the nation. in my opinion. You return potential first-round quarterback. What's that guy's name?
All right, you got Nate Wiggins. That dude's potentially he's doing great, dude.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr., potential first-rounder. You get
potential first-rounder and Barrett Carter, dude.
You get back the edge rusher this year too. Xavier Thomas.
Yeah, we brought back Xavier Thomas, like 11-year senior. But hey, he's back, dude. He's
top 25 in all metrics when it comes to defense. 15 starters returned total for this team. 8 on defense. Chip, take it away.
All right, here we go. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? All right, first down. Here we go. Clemson Tiger football Cade Klubnik show is about to begin. The man is about to go off, all right? The boy is about to go off. The accuracy between him and DJ is unbelievably so different. And it's going to be way more exciting of a year, dude. It's going to be a great year this year for the Clemson Tigers. I'm telling you right now, because we have every skill position coming back. Everybody's back. Come on. Cade Klubnik, Will Shipley. That's all you really need to know. And Antonio Williams. Let me give you a story about Antonio Williams. So Antonio Williams. So I worked at the YMCA, Eastside Y, in 2014, and I was an after-school counselor for the Eastside YMCA, and I was in charge of sports kids. There literally was a group of the cool, nerdy kids that talked about video games, comic books, superheroes. Yeah, I can, great little kids.
Good shit.
Then you got the sports kids. It was literally either or, right? And I had 2nd through 5th sports kids after school, Eastside YMCA. Antonio Williams was one of my kids. Can you believe that shit? What an unbelievable moment when I found out that
he was going to be a Tiger.
Was my boy from my class back in the day. And then he just went off like that. God bless. When I tell you he was an athlete at the YMCA in 2014, that boy was an athlete. And it didn't surprise me that he has made it all the way to where he's at. Unbelievable. Freshman All-American. There ain't no way, bro. Come on. Then we got Bo Collins back. Come on. The tight end position has really not been we had Davis Allen last year. Unbelievable player. Got drafted. Good for him. Good luck to you. But we got just a sleeper. Jake Brennenstuhl. Hopefully this dude can go off for us. He's literally been a really big name, but just hasn't produced. I don't get it. He's got a great frame. I don't get it. 6'6", 230. He's a junior this year. Definitely won't be leaving unless we just throw 40 TDs at this motherfucker. We got 4 returning offensive linemen and a 5-star freshman All-American. Excuse me, no longer a freshman. What year is he right now? He's listed as a sophomore. Tristan Lay finally taking over at left tackle. Don't even get me started on defense. We got the best linebacker court in the fucking country. Take the under, bro. Take the under in every game we play. But honestly, this year is going to be different, bro. Take the under was probably, I'm not even going to lie, it was probably the phrase of all last year for Clemson football. Take the under. I think it's going to be a complete 180 in the right direction. Give me the Clemson Tigers to go back-to-back conference champions and contend for a playoff. If not, we're going to win the Orange Bowl this year. That's my boys.
I'm glad you did
that's my
that.
boys.
I didn't even have to do any analysis on that because you just gave me a chance to get some more.
Come on, man. Cade fucking
I was listening to
Klubnik, man. Cade fucking Klubnik. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Garrett Riley? Garrett Riley? And Cade Klubnik. Look out.
And Cade Klubnik together.
Look out, bro. Just look the fuck out, dude. Could be some Lincoln Riley shit. You know what I'm saying? It could possibly be. Come on. Why not?
Okay. So, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back in it. So, I agree with everything he said about Clemson. And when you mentioned the college football playoffs, I had already had the odds looked up. Clemson is plus 350 to make the college football playoff. So instead of betting over on the win total, instead of taking them to win the conference, just take them to get a spot in the college football playoffs. Because I do believe this is a playoff team. It all relies on Cade Klubnik. If he is anything like his rankings indicate, if he can be. He just has to be better than DJ last year, and this team is right there in the playoffs. So give me Clemson to make the college football playoffs. It's one of the 4 teams in there. That is a definitive statement. At 11 minutes in this podcast, we are both in unison that we both believe that the Clemson Tigers will be making the college football playoffs. Now, let's move along to Florida State, a team that a lot of people, it's a toss-up to some people. Some people have this team winning the conference. Some people have this team making the playoffs. They're plus 170, and that is the Florida State Seminoles. And when you look at this team, they have a win total of 9.5. It's minus 144 to the over, plus 118 to the under. They are positive 3, net tart 3.5 on offense, minus 0.5 on defense. They return 17 starters, 9 of those which are on defense. Jared Verse, you got to shout him out. Potential first-round pick last year, decided to come back. This guy was probably top 15 last year. He's probably top 5, top 3 this year. They returned Jordan Travis at quarterback, Trey Benson in the backfield, Johnny Wilson, the big 6'5" receiver, Jaheim Bell transferred in from South Carolina. Just a host of other transfers in to help on the defensive end, especially in the secondary. They even got Keon Coleman coming in from Michigan State. So just a nasty receiving core, a nasty offense. But what this all boils down to is this. It's the Clemson game. It's at Clemson, right?
It's at Clemson. And it's most likely going to be a night game.
It's at Clemson.
Death Valley at night. Come on, man.
It's going to be a night game. It's probably going to be game day.
How could it not be, bro? Unless...
It's just one of those things where...
Real quick, before we get into that matchup, are they going to beat LSU? Do you think they will beat LSU, dude? Because I'll tell you what I think, but I need to know. Will they win week 1 versus LSU?
Oh, man.
In
LSU.
Orlando. Florida State played there in their bowl game. They won the Cheez-It Bowl. In Orlando, the exact same stadium.
I actually do think they pull out this game. I do think.
You think they pull it out? Okay. I got LSU winning this shit.
That's what their season really boils down to. Can they beat LSU and can they beat Clemson? But they're still
because both of them matchups are within 4 weeks of each other. In the first 4 weeks of the year, they play us and LSU, both road, like neutral site for the first, road for us. Both them games will dictate their season for sure.
I'm still going to take the win total over because those are the only 2
What's
games
the win
I can
total?
see them dropping. It's 9.5, and those are the only 2 games I can see them dropping.
I got them at 9.
Wishes on offense, strong defense. I can see this team getting the 9.5. Give me the over. I don't think they win the conference though, but I do think they get in the conference championship game. And one of these things you can do if you don't want to take the team win total over, just take them to win the conference because you just get it at plus money, so you don't have to tie it up. You could just, take them to win the conference, or you can just wait till the conference championship game and take the loser of the regular season matchup, who will probably be a dog, take them to win. Moving right along, let's talk about my favorite quarterback in the upcoming draft, Drake Maye. Now, the only reason why I want to talk about Drake Maye, and specifically just Drake Maye, is because Drake Maye is awesome. 6'5", rocket arm, very accurate. needs to be a better decision maker at times, tries to press too much. But he has to. When you have Gus Malzahn, not Gus Malzahn, I'm sorry, Gene Chizik on the defensive side of the defensive side of the ball, calling the game plans that he called. I said it last year. There are high school coaches out here they're coming up with better game plans than Gene Chizik. It's asinine that they retained him. They were absolutely atrocious on defense. They couldn't stop a soul. They couldn't tackle. They gave up 30 points to everybody. And you bring him back. You get 9 starters back on offense. You get 8 on defense. So you would hope a team that gave up 30 points per game on defense with 8 starters returning or better. The win total is 8.5. It's plus 122 to the over, minus 150 to the under. They're 8.5 in net target, plus 3.5 on offense, plus 5 on defense. They're plus 1,100 to win the conference. This team is 121st in pass defense. They're going through a new offensive coordinator change. They go from Phil Longhole, who ran a very fast offense, to Chip Linsley, who's going to slow the pace down possibly. They lost, of course, Josh Downs to the NFL. They do bring 2 guys in from the transfer portal. The secondary, they return one guy in the secondary. When I look at this North Carolina team, I like the fact that they have a lot of starters. I like the fact that it looks like, I don't see them getting an 8.5. This is an 8-win team.
I got them at 8 exactly. Rookie score 8 exactly. That's what I got.
They're going to lose to Clemson and Florida State if they're on the schedule, and they'll probably drop another unexpected ACC game.
I think they'll lose to Minnesota.
They're not losing to Minnesota.
I don't know, man.
If PJ Fleck
at Pittsburgh, potentially, dude. Hey, dude. Who's going to win? South Carolina or North Carolina? Who's going to win the opener? Because when is that? September 2nd.
South Carolina. North Carolina, actually. Take it back. North Carolina.
You sure?
We're talking about South Carolina. We're talking about South Carolina.
Yeah, we're talking about them. All right.
I'm not very high on them. Like most people are, they were terrible against the run. We'll get to it. For North Carolina, though, I am definitely on the under. 8.5 is a little too rich for my blood. If you can get it at 8, they could potentially win 9 games. I just don't want to be tied up in that. I don't. I'd rather just bet Drake Maye to win the Heisman or something.
Oh, shit.
Let's get into the next team. It is Louisville. They are plus 1,400 to win the conference. They are plus 8.5. Plus 6 in that chart. 6 of it is on offense. Just 8.5 is their win total. Plus 132 to the over. Minus 162 to the under. New quarterback, Jack Plummer, transferred in. New head coach, Jeff Brohm, brings most of his produced staff with him. He inherits a lot of returning starters. One of the weird thing about this team is they have co-defensive coordinators. You don't hear about that too often. They don't.
Clemson ran some co-offensive, co-defensive coordinators there for a bit. We ran co-offensive coordinator for a bit until one guy left, and then we just promoted the other guy.
Just let one guy run the thing. Just let one guy run.
Yeah, I feel that. You can obviously tell who's calling the game too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, who the fuck called that play? Oh yeah.
He did it. It's like, motherfucker, I heard you on the mic. You called cover 3.
Dude, Tony Elliott, Virginia head coach. That dude was a co-offensive coordinator. And then he completely took over the Trevor's last year, I think.
We'll talk about Tony Elliott, Virginia. We'll talk about him. They have the benefit of not playing Florida State, Clemson, or North Carolina. They return 6 starters total. No. I got it wrong. They return 6 starters on the offense. They have 3 secondary transfers in to help bolster that secondary. The reason why I like this team if you can get it at 8, take it. I like this team to go over their win total because they have a cupcake schedule. They don't play the top 3 teams. They're better than every other team in the conference they're going to play. They should be favored in every game. Outside of, I think, one tough non-conference game, they have a bunch of winnable non-conference games. Who do they play non-conference? Who do they play out of the conference?
Indiana.
They'll
In
take care of that.
Lucas Oil Stadium.
They'll take care of that. Is it?
So versus Indiana in Lucas Oil Stadium.
It ain't like it ain't like Purdue. From being in Purdue, they don't have familiarity with Indiana, so you can chalk it up as a dub.
Yeah, they play Georgia Tech week 1, September 1st in Atlanta.
That's a dub.
So they play in like 2 NFL stadiums this year. That's kind of cool.
That's a dub.
Versus Georgia Tech. And then Indianapolis versus Indiana on the 16th. So like within 3 weeks, they play in 2 NFL stadiums.
It's crazy.
And they play 2 home games. That's cool. If I was a player, I'd be like, dude, that's fucking lit. Play Mercedes-Benz and then go to Indianapolis where they have the, what is it, the...
They got the retractable roof off of that thing. Yeah, give me the over on Louisville. They just play a cupcake schedule.
All right. Who else we got?
Let's talk about both of these teams got equal win totals. Let's talk Pitt. Phil Jerkovich transfers over to Pat Narduzzi's Pitt Panthers. They're plus 2,000. Phil Jerkovich got to not turn the ball over. He also has to stay healthy. And that's the biggest thing.
Is this like his second team or is his third team?
It's his second team, and he's like a 6-year player who still wants to throw a ton of interceptions.
Because he was at Boston College, right?
Yeah, and he got hurt for that 1 year, and he was pretty banged up last year, and he was trying to turn the ball over all last year. Just kept doing that. 6.5 is the win total, minus 200 to the over, plus 160 to the under. They are minus 10 at TARP, and it's minus 5 on both sides, offense and defense. Man, listen, they lost the running back, their top pass catcher. They do have good return and secondary production, but they still got to replace a few guys on the offensive line. But this team hangs their hat on defense, and Pat Narduzzi is known for getting these guys up to play and retooling the shed. I know Kalijah Kancey's going to be a handful first rounder. He's going to be tough to replace for this team. But if anybody can do it, Pat Narduzzi can do it. He's always sending guys to the NFL. You can always count on Pitt to kind of have a quality defense. The offense is the only question here. 6.5. I can see Pitt winning 7 games.
Yeah, I literally have written down 6/7 wins for these boys.
I can see them doing it. The ACC ain't too much of a murderer's row. They got to just feast and not lose the games they should win. And their non-conference isn't too difficult. They can definitely get the 7.
They play Syracuse in Yankee Stadium, it looks like.
That'll be a very interesting game. That's going to be an interesting game.
That's crazy. Syracuse versus Pitt in the Bronx.
In the fucking Bronx.
That's pretty cool.
Let's talk NC State, the Wolf Pack. Don't turn your back on the Wolf Pack because you might end up in a body bag. Shout out to people. Shout out to y'all who know where that's from. Their win total 6.5 is minus 152 to the over, plus 124 to the under. Brennan Armstrong transfers in from Virginia. His old offensive coordinator taps him in. Come play with me. Come help us out a little bit. The problem is 3 of the top of the 4 targets are gone on this team. They return less than 50% as a defense, but they do have one of the top cornerback tandems in the conference. They are minus 1 in TARP, 2 to the positive 2 on offense, but minus 3 on the defense. The win total 6.5. the coach always seems to get the most out of his team. He just does. It would be very hard for me to go against this offense, but because when Brennan Armstrong a few years ago had this offense coordinator, he was cooking. He was cooking. Give me the over. Give me the over. I'll stay away. Fuck it. I'll stay away.
What is the number?
6.5.
6.5. Give me the over.
What's NC State non-conference schedule?
Non-conference is technically, I guess, Notre Dame.
That's the real question.
Connecticut on the road. They play VMI. They play Marshall at home. And that's it.
Yeah, they can get over 6.5. Give me the over. They shouldn't lose any of the non-conference games outside of Notre Dame. They shouldn't lose anything except the Notre Dame game.
Yeah, not bad.
Let's talk about the Hurricanes of Miami. Down year last year, man. Just disappointing. Just getting beat by Middle Tennessee State. Offense can't score any points. That's what happens when you hire Josh Gaddis. They get rid of him. They bring in Shannon Dawson to run the offense. Tyler Van Dyke's back, of course, but he had a very down year last year. He needs to kind of try to get some of his momentum from his freshman year back. The good thing about it is this team is positive 6 in TARP, +1 on the offense, +5 on defense. 7.5 is the win total, +110 to the over, -134 to the under. They also bring in a new defensive coordinator, Lance Geardry. He's kind of got a weird name. They return 64% of their line start, so the cover's not bare. They do bring in 2 5-star offensive linemen and an Alabama transfer to try to help bolster that. The problem is, man, this defense was absolutely terrible. Now, they do return a ton of experience on defense, but they were 107th in tackling. This team just could not tackle. They gave up 16 plays of 40 yards or more, and they played the top 4 teams in the conference. When you give me that and you give me a win total of 7.5, they don't have any room for error. They can't drop another game. I will be taking the under on Miami just because I mean, Cristobal recruits well, but man, it's a lot to ask of this team when they got to play Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, and they got to play North Carolina, which winnable game against Louisville and North Carolina, but I still don't trust Tyler Van Dyke after what I seen last season. I need to see it out of Miami's offense. This is 2 offensive coordinators in 2 years. I will be staying away from Miami and taking the under and fading them. They can get to 7, but they won't go above that.
Yeah, you just hammered it. You hammered it, man. What's the win total?
7.5.
No. Give me the under.
Because they still play Texas A&M. They play Texas A&M also.
7. Yeah, this is A&M. You got Miami of Ohio.
Which ain't going to be a cakewalk.
No,
that's not going to be a cakewalk either.
Clemson at home, at NC State, at Florida State, back-to-back weeks. And then after that, Louisville at home.
Dude, their first, for those of you who've listened to the podcast through the previews, you know Miami of Ohio is the top team in their conference, and Temple's the favorite to win their conference also. So it's not like the non-conference teams they're playing are just, walkovers. And this is in the first couple of weeks. I wonder what this team's going to have left come mid-season. They might be, we might get this. This might be one of my favorite under bets of the whole preview podcast. My goodness. I'm putting a star beside that. This team, I'm going to be fading the shit out of Miami. They're going to be fucking, God. I'm going to think I'm a barber the way I'm going to fade Miami, bro. I'm going to think I'm my brother the way I'm going to be fading Miami. Let's talk about Duke, the Blue Devils. Surprise team last year. Mike Elko, man, he had these guys playing at a high level, got them to 8 wins, plus 4,000 to win the conference. 6.5 is the win total, plus 126 to the over, minus 154 to the under. This team is net positive 5 in TARP. That's 6 on offense and minus 1 on D. They return 8 starters on the defense. 83% of their line starts. 17 starters in total. This team made a massive transformation on defense last year, going from 37 points per game to giving up just 22. They can continue that trend. Their quarterback, Riley, if he can just, continue what he's doing, dual threat quarterback, they can keep protecting him and he can get the ball to his playmakers. There's no reason why this team can't exceed this win total. I know it's probably a hot bet.
What's the number?
6.5. Give me the schedule.
Clemson, week 1 at home, dude. It's going to be an exciting night, dude. I'm going to be in attendance.
We talked about it.
I will be in attendance for Duke versus Clemson, or Clemson versus Duke, technically.
We need that.
So then they got Lafayette. So I'm thinking maybe 1-1. Then you go Northwestern.
2-1.
You think 2-1?
Too much turmoil going on in Northwestern with Pat Fitzgerald being gone.
At Connecticut.
3-1.
Notre Dame.
3-2, possibly. Probably.
NC State.
Toss up 4-2. Is that
at
home?
Florida State? Yeah, NC State's at home.
4-3.
At Florida State. Then at Louisville.
Toss up at 4-4.
Wake Forest.
5-4.
At North Carolina.
5-5.
At Virginia.
6-5.
Pittsburgh.
Fuck.
Ah, that's a toss-up, dude.
Phil Jerkovich gonna throw some picks. 7-5. 7-5.
7-5?
Give it over. Give it over. They're gonna give it over.
Okay. I got them at 6, but I got
it. It's gonna come down to the Pitt and the North Carolina State game. They can't lose those games.
I think it's a tough little schedule.
It's gonna swell.
They return a lot of they return too much, man. Way too much, man.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Still ain't gonna help in week 1 though. Let's talk about Wake. Not gonna talk too much about Wake because of this. They're plus 5,000 to win the conference. They're minus 8 in that TARP, minus 7 on offense, minus 1 on defense, and they have a new quarterback. They returned 3 starters. They're all interior offensive linemen. A.T. Perry's gone. He's with the Saints. Where they're going to get any pass rush from, they lost their top edge guys. The win total 6.5 is plus 118 to the over, minus 144 to the under. My only analysis is there's no more Sam Hartman. There you go. That's my analysis. He was just that damn good. That's all I really got to say. There's no more Sam Hartman. They're going to tweak the offense a bit. There's no more Sam Hartman. There you go. So I'm going under.
What's the number?
6.5.
You be saying that shit. I'm right on it, dude. I got 6 / maybe 7 asterisks by 7. I don't know, man. You think they're gonna beat Vanderbilt?
Possibly.
They could be, because they could be 4-0 if they beat Georgia Tech. So they could be 4-0 headed to Clemson. That'd be cool. Both of us are 4-0. The hype train would be derailed.
Yeah, derailed, especially when I bet the money. Hopefully they is. That's a great betting opportunity. They come in 4-0, you get them at a good, decent number, and then Clemson just smash them by 27 points.
Smashes them. Hey, I'm going to write that shit down, man. They're about to be 4-0 headed into Clemson, man.
Headed into an ass whooping. All right, man. Let's get to the bottom barrel of the conference. Well, we got one more mid team first. Syracuse plus 750. Plus 7,500 to win the conference. 6.5 is the win total. Plus 115. 115 to the over. Minus 140 to the under. This team is net positive 3 in TARP, 1.5 on both sides of the ball. They have a new offensive coordinator, a new defense coordinator. They lost their receivers. They lost their secondary. That's all I really got written down for Syracuse because that's a recipe for disaster. You're replacing too much on defense with a new defensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator. You return your quarterback, but man, Dino Babers, man, he gets his team ready to play, and I wouldn't count them out.
You can't say nothing bad about Dino, man. Can't say nothing bad about him, dude.
I would stay away from this win total.
I feel that.
I don't want anything to do with it. Dino could get this team to 7 wins, or they could win 5. I don't want to touch it. I'm good. No. I'm good. Let's talk about Virginia Tech. You want the over?
Give me the over.
What's the schedule? You looking like you got look on your
Colgate win. Western Michigan a win.
Okay.
At Purdue.
That should be a win.
At Purdue. Army at home.
That could be a loss.
So they could either be 3-1 or 4-1 getting ready to host Clemson. So that could be like the first 3 or 4 weeks where our opponent is undefeated, playing them every time. That's kind of crazy.
They get smacked around.
So you're saying 2-2. No. Colgate. Oh, the battery's low on the baby monitor. Colgate, win. Western Michigan, win. At Purdue, win. Army, I'm saying win. Army at home, I'm saying win. Clemson, L. At North Carolina, L. At Florida State, L. That's 3 in a row. So they're 4-3. Then I got at Virginia Tech, win. Boston College at home, win. Pittsburgh in the Bronx, I don't know. At Georgia Tech, win. Wake Forest, win. Why not? Why not, dude? Come on, man. Why not?
Because very winnable schedule. Very easy. Very easy.
Come on,
I'm with you.
Give me the over.
I'm disappearing for just 2 seconds.
No, you go for it, brother. That's just really what I think. I don't know. Because I'm telling you right now, Virginia Tech. Now you can totally argue that Virginia Tech has one of the greatest entrances in college football. But in reality, that shit gets quiet in less than 20 minutes. So, all right, you back?
All right.
Hell yeah, welcome back. So I was talking about Virginia Tech.
Oh my goodness.
So I was talking about how this
last year.
team, yeah,
still,
big time.
Tragedy last year to end that season. They didn't play their final 2 games. But what were you saying about Virginia Tech?
No, you meant to say Virginia, I think.
No, I meant to say Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech? What happened to Virginia Tech?
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Virginia, you're right.
Yeah, Virginia. Bad. Yeah, Virginia. Yeah. No, you're straight. You're straight. So I said that they have one of the greatest entrances. Right? They got like a top entrance in college football. But that shit gets quiet in less than 20 minutes.
This team used to.
Tell me why. Because they fucking trash, bro.
They used to mean something. They used to play good defense, good special teams.
Oh, yeah.
Now they don't do anything right. 3.5 is the win total. So I don't even get how that priced for the conference. Plus 115 to the over, minus 140 to the under. They're -5.5 in net target, -7 on offense, +1.5 on defense. They're in a quarterback battle. They had a couple wide receivers transfer in. They only averaged 19 points per game last year, so they have nowhere to go but up on offense. You got to be able to score at least 3 touchdowns. The problem is they returned 5 starters on defense, which there's room for improvement, but the problem is their offensive line is terrible. They averaged under 3 yards per carry last year. They have to find a way to protect the quarterback and run the ball.
Ranked 112th in rushing offense last year.
But this win total is so low. Can they really be that bad? 3.5. I'm just willing to say over. I'm just. They got.
Give me the over on these trash motherfuckers.
They got to be better. Trash, but trash pandas. Fuck a Hokie. They're the trash pandas. The Virginia Tech trash Hokie. Oh damn! I didn't even do that. All right, let's talk BC next. Boston College. Obviously, quarterback change. Phil Jerkovich leaving. They bring in Emmett Moorhead. He played a little bit last year. He's going to take over full time. 6 returning starters on defense. One of the easiest schedules in the ACC. 5.5 to win total. -115 to the over. -105 to the under. As far as TARP goes, they're -2.5. It is. There's no way that's the right number. What the hell? Oh, they're minus. I'm sorry, they're minus point. They're -0.5 on offense and -2 on defense. I ain't got really too much analysis to say other than I'm going to go over simply based off the schedule. Simply based off I like the coach. He usually gets his team ready to play. If they didn't turn the ball over a whole bunch last year, they would have been better, and they have to pass block better. Phil Jerkovich was under pressure like 23% of the time. So,
what's the number for them?
5.5.
Give me the over.
Give me the over.
Punch that shit in.
Punch that in. That's actually one of my favorite bets for this one, just because the schedule's so easy. They play all the worst teams in the ACC. And when you talk about the worst teams in the ACC, we're down to 2 teams, and we're not going to spend that much time talking about Georgia Tech or Virginia. But we're going to talk about Georgia Tech first. They have a new offensive coordinator. They're returning 4 on the offense. They're plus 20,000 to win the conference. Net +1 in TARP, and that comes straight from the offense. The win total is 4.5 plus 125 to the over, -150 to the under. The head coach does get this team to play hard. All their good talent seems to transfer away. They are too deep at running back with Smith and Cooley toting that thing. They're gonna run the hell out of the ball. The problem is no longer a
triple option.
But it's gonna feel like it because Haynes King's playing quarterback and he is not good. He transferred in from Texas A&M, and I'm not a fan. They lost their 3 best players on defense, and they allowed 39 sacks last year. So they're going to run the ball, but they have to protect the quarterback, but they can't. I'm hammering the under for Georgia Tech. I just don't see them getting over 4.5 wins. I can move right along to Virginia and just, they're -1 net TARP, -5 on offense, +4 on defense. Same odds as Georgia Tech, plus 20,000. The win total is -110, both sides, and it's 3.5. They average 17 points per game. So, like Virginia Tech, no place to go but up, right? They're in the middle of a quarterback battle, and they have 6 returning on the defense, but most of that's on the D-line. They return every starter on the D-line. And that might means they, might cause a little problems in the backfield, but not enough to get over this win total. I will be taking the under. The cupboard's bare. They lost a lot, and they have to retool. And when you retool at Virginia, it's kind of like putting duct tape on fucking leaking pipe. It's just.
No, seriously, what's the win total? You say it every time. I have to ask it every fucking time. Yeah, so they played Tennessee. That's a loss. James Madison.
That's a loss.
Win, but
that's a loss.
Oh my god! So 0-2 at Maryland. That's a loss.
Loss.
NC State at home. That's a loss. At Boston College, I feel that's a loss. William and Mary
should be a win.
Could be win number 1. Then you go at North Carolina, at Miami, Georgia Tech at home, at Louisville, Duke, Virginia Tech. Yeah. Give me the under, dude. I don't believe in Tony Elliott's offense. Just don't. I don't believe in Tony Elliott.
Yeah, you name their whole schedule and other games. I feel like they can win a Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, and William and Mary. Some people would say James Madison, but they're not beating James Madison either. So yeah, man, we laid the ACC out for you pretty quick. Actually, one of our quicker pods, man. You know, that's how you know we're just ready for the season. We've been hammering this out for so long.
It's kind of wild.
A lot of sleepless nights, guys. We were staying up past midnight. These guys who, put work. I work 10 hours a day to give you this content. Then come home and give you this content. I'm just excited. I know some of you thinking, well, where's the independents at? It's 5 teams. We'll talk about them tomorrow, guys. We'll talk about them with the Week 0 podcast cycle. Do you really want to talk about anybody outside of what Navy and was it Army and Notre Dame? I don't even know who the other 3 independents are. UConn and who else? UMass?
It's UConn, UMass, Notre Dame, and
is it not Army?
Fucking hell, man. Let me just look it up. Son of a bitch. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
So independent number 1 is Notre Dame. Then you got UConn, who was brand new to the thing, I think, or if not, second year as an independent. UConn. Then you got Army, and then you got the Massachusetts Minutemen. UMass.
Like we're really gonna, we'll probably spend.
Like we're gonna waste more
total.
Yeah.
And a third of that will be on Notre Dame. So yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now, man, if you're a fan of UMass, go fuck yourself.
If you're watching UMass football, just
what the fuck are you doing? Y'all went 1-11 last year.
Even if you attend the university, you're not watching those games. Those stands are empty. They could play that game.
Yeah,
they could play that game in a fucking hockey arena and just let them play on the ice, make it more entertaining. But this has been the ACC. We laid it out for you. 2 teams battling it out at the top, but in our minds, we're rolling with the Tigers. Not only we're rolling with the Tigers to win the conference, we're rolling with them to go to the college football playoffs. I think it's the first declaration we've had as a team going to know. I think you'll hear in the next podcast a couple more declarations. I've already put 2 of my teams in there. I've already stamped Michigan.
We both got in. Yeah, I was about to say we both got Michigan in there. There's 2 of the 4, and one of my next teams is going to come from there. There's only 2 spots.
There's only 2 spots left.
There's 2 spots left.
And
then it's going to be all hell.
It's going to be
all hell breaking loose.
I'm going to have to figure
2024, the 12-team playoff. So who you got? You got Georgia?
Oh, yeah, Georgia's getting in.
So Georgia, Clemson, Michigan, who else? Who's coming out, bro? Who's coming out? Oregon? They're going to win the Pac-12? Who do we say is going to win the Pac-12?
You know what? Because I have Florida State winning week 1 and losing the conference, I'm going to say Florida State.
Whoa.
As much as I love LSU, I love LSU too. This is a tough conference. So that would be my teams. That would be my teams. I'll rock with that early on.
Damn. All right. All right. Hold on. Let me write that shit down. I was about to say, where'd my fucking pen go?
Is that the baby out here?
Hopefully not. Well, It don't matter. Cause
if he wakes up, I'll hold him to the SEC conference preview. I will hold him the whole conference preview for the SEC because we have to knock that out. It's imperative. Don't want to have any more lingering. I have to figure out how to get the Sun Belt loaded up video wise. So yeah, guys, we recorded the Sun Belt. I released the audio. The video's not out because I can't get the video to download. I'm gonna try my hardest to get that to download in the next 2 days before the season starts. So that'll be out there. But enjoy the other 9 conference previews that we gave you. They're pretty impressed with 9 conference previews in a 2-week span. Just wait.
All right, man.
In 2 weeks, I'm going to do 8 divisions in NFL. What? Write yours down. Where you going?
Fuck, I don't know who my 4th one is, but I got Michigan, Clemson, Georgia.
I almost said Oregon or Washington, but
I think it's going to be the Pac-12 champ. I think it'll be the Pac-12 champ for the first time ever. I think Pac-12 champion in the playoff. No, because Oregon beat the fuck out of Florida State and then got the brakes beat on by Ohio State.
Yeah,
so give me man.
You can wait.
Man, who did I say was gonna win? I forgot already.
You got to the end of the SEC pod. So let's close this one up and let's set back up and get ready to fire off another amazing podcast, man.
Yeah, man. We really appreciate y'all listening, man.
We really do.
Those who are really listening, man, we really fuck with y'all and just thank you, man.
And
but
since we saved the 2 conferences that people love the most, we expect you to really show love on this ACC podcast. And,
go fucking Tigers, man. Go fucking Tigers, man. It's going to be a great year, man. But our schedule's a little tough. It's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a good year, man. I have oh, man, dude. My, hope for the season is just, it's so good compared to the last 2 years. It's just very exciting because technically we've seen him play, but we'll find out.
I just don't want to get that audio on here and have to cut it. So
it's all good, dude.
Oh, the door. Yeah, it's all good. We'll keep on. Let it come in the house. We'll get the other podcast rolling. This is Puffy.
All right, it's Chip.
This is.
Yeah, come on, baby. Come on, baby.
The Saturday Show, Adam.